News between the U.S. and China.
A 90-day pause and substantially move down the tariff levels.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, after weekend talks in Switzerland, the tariffs that had halted a lot of imports and exports will drop way down. Both countries slashing them by 115%. So the U.S. will now have a 30% charge on Chinese goods. China's tariff 10% now on American products. And on Wall Street, a stock market rally is brewing. Dow futures are up 1,000 points. We're waiting on a hostage release today from Gaza. As Hamas pushes for another ceasefire with Israel, it'll set Idan Alexander free, the last living American hostage still held captive. He's from New Jersey, but was an Israeli soldier when captured in 2023. Fox's Lucas Tomlinson reads a statement from the Alexander family.
The greatest gift imaginable. News that our beautiful son Idan is returning home after 583 days in captivity in Gaza. We express our deepest gratitude to President Trump, Steve Witkoff, and the U.S. administration for their tireless work to make this happen.
Now, the president is also continuing to push for an end to the war in Ukraine, and now this.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says he'll be in Turkey on Thursday and wants Russian leader Vladimir Putin to meet him there to talk directly about ending the war. This all came about after President Donald Trump insisted Ukraine throw out their demand for a ceasefire before peace talks take place. The Kremlin's not confirmed or denied if President Putin is willing to take part.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. Before President Trump takes off for Saudi Arabia this morning on a Middle East trip, he'll sign an executive order aiming to lower prescription drug prices. White House Press Secretary Caroline Levitt just told Fox it's a very big deal
for American families and especially our seniors who have been ripped off by very large and rich pharmaceutical companies.
America's listening to Fox News.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
2815 Old Jacksonville, Springfield. CordellCordell.com.
Don't get suckered into the same old free phone game by Big Wireless. There is a better way. Pure Talk, my sponsor, my wireless company, has a better offer. A brand new free Samsung Galaxy with qualifying plan for $35 a month. You get unlimited talk, unlimited text, 15 gigs of data, all on America's most dependable 5G network. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword Pure Talk for your free Samsung Galaxy with qualifying plan. Pure Talk, wireless by Americans for Americans.
Nearly 100 more flights to and from Newark, New Jersey's airport are canceled or delayed this morning. The airport continues to deal with a shortage of air traffic controllers and technical glitches. There was another one yesterday.
When these terminals go dark and there are so many planes flying above, the public is freaked out.
Democratic Senate Leader Chuck Schumer demanding the FAA make fixing Newark's problems a top priority. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy's proposed a nationwide system upgrade and hiring more controllers.
Secretary Duffy on NBC's Meet the Press said he'll act on what Congress has authorized about addressing a shortage of air traffic controllers.
Extend the retirement age for air traffic controllers from 56 to 61.
Duffy says he'll also offer an incentive to those workers to maintain their experience.
I'm going to give them a 20% upfront bonus to stay on the job. Don't retire. Keep serving your country.
The FAA is about 3,000 controllers short of desired numbers. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
A jury will be seated today to put star rapper and music producer Sean Diddy Combs on trial in federal court in New York City, followed by opening statements.
Prosecutors allege Sean Diddy Combs used violence and money to coerce several women into drug-fueled sex parties. The 55-year-old has pled not guilty to charges including racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking. His lawyers argue the encounters were all consensual. Combs' ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, is expected to testify for the prosecution, likely to be questioned about viral 2016 hotel surveillance footage showing Combs kicking and dragging her. The defense says it will show evidence alleging their relationship was mutually violent. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
In the NBA playoffs, the Oklahoma City Thunder got even. The West's top seed beat Denver 92-87 to tie their series 2-2. But the East's top seed, Cleveland, lost to Indiana again, 129-109. The Pacers now lead the Cavaliers 3-1. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news Leaders in Illinois reacting after Chicago native named Pope Leo XIV, the first American pope in the 2,000-year history of the Catholic Church. Chicago's mayor called this one of the biggest moments in the city's modern history. Illinois Department of Labor resolving multiple complaints of unpaid wages made against a Beecher-based contractor. IDOL has recovered more than $483,000 for affected workers of bulk storage. The payments are part of a settlement agreement reached with the company. In addition to the wages recovered, the contractor will pay $85,000 in penalties to IDOL. Carl Hilton Champaign expected to lay off more than 600 starting in July. Located at 3310 Fields South Drive in Champaign, they're scheduled to lay off 612 employees starting July 8. It's due to the Carl subsidiaries Health Alliance and First Carolina Care ending all insurance plans other than Medicare Advantage by January 1st. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Yeah, nice little slow start, casual start to Monday.
Are we having a Monday, Stevie?
No, we're not.
Already?
It's a great day. No, I'm just. Here's what the most incredible video I saw all weekend, Solier.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, the White Sox playing Houston in 2005 for the World Series.
That's right.
White Sox won the World Series. Right, so they play in Houston.
I know where you're going.
Yep. Okay. You saw it too. So you're showing Joe Buck. They're showing the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
They take a 3-second cutaway from one person in a crowd of 50,000.
That's right.
3-second cutaway of one person.
The odds on that, yes.
That person ended up being the Pope.
Mm-hmm.
What?
So the question is, how in the world did they find out? Here, it's an easy answer. Do you remember when Father was on TV? They showed him at the White. So some friend tipped off somebody who went and played that, and he's the big White Sox. You know what I would be doing if I was at the Vatican? I would be scheduling the first pitch thrown out by a pope.
Agreed. I have heard that this weekend.
I would schedule him actually connecting with the masses as a guy who loves to play tennis. Have him go to Wimbledon for a game.
Yeah.
You will have people flocking to Jesus Christ because they want to learn more.
Yeah.
Because this guy is on my level.
That might be the way to win over the youth, too.
I mean, it's nothing
it's
wrong.
It's a great way of evangelization, he tries to say.
You be an evangelical.
Yeah.
The point of being an evangelical for Christ is you tell them about the story, the crucifixion, the resurrection. This Pope has an opportunity as a guy. He's a Sox fan. I'm sorry about the Sox.
He loves Aurelio's Pizza. I grew up down there. I grew up in that pizza place.
Nice.
I just think that for so long the Pope as revered as the Pope always is.
Yes.
I think this is eye-level chance and opportunity because we've never had anybody from America that was at a White Sox game.
Very interesting.
I mean,
that Augustine Order was actually one of their locales was right across the street from the high school I went to.
Wow.
So, very familiar with that whole area.
It's just a chance to relate.
Yeah.
And this is a unique opportunity for the church. It's a unique opportunity for the Catholicism and the growth of that. Mm-hmm. And I would put him at a New York Knicks game.
Why not?
He's a Knicks fan because of the predominant Villanova feel there for the New York Knicks right now.
Okay.
So anyway, this is mind-boggling. So
wonder if his first trips will be either like Peru, then to the U.S. Some order like that.
Yeah, I finally heard him speak English, and it's just perfect English.
He speaks English.
Yeah, right. He didn't do any. I think it was probably good play. He's doing that thing in Rome and waving
in Latin.
He did it in Italian and Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, well maybe he won't be all American. I guess it would have been bad to say, "Hey y'all," you don't do that.
We'll see if he still has his Chicago accent.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't hear a thing. No accent at all. Very humble beginnings.
Yes.
But
exactly.
but throwing out the first pitch, the Pope, I think the people would go crazy now, presuming he can throw a baseball. You got to be able to throw the baseball a little bit, just a little. All right,
they can cheat forward off the mound a little bit.
Yeah, they come down. I would never pitch from the top of the mound, I don't think.
Yeah.
Here you go with your weather, brought to you this morning by Urbana Park District.
Hey, remind you, we're coming up on Memorial Day weekend. Before you know it, The Crystal Lake Park Family Aquatic Center will open May 24th. If you want to get some good deals and extra savings, visit urbanaparks.org.
All right, it's meteorologist Greg Sawyer. That was Diane Ducey.
Good morning.
I am Stevie J. This is Monday, May 12. Good to have you listening. Mr. Greg is here to tell us about our week weather-wise.
Yes, exactly. Hope everyone had a fine and enjoyable honoring Mother's Day weekend across the air. Weather was picture perfect, and the windows of opportunity now for advancing field work and planning are going to begin to shrink and become smaller here over the next 7 to 10 days. By the way, 2 weeks out from the Memorial Day holiday on Monday, and it is a certainly wetter weather pattern that shows up around here, particularly next week and beyond. So try to get it done while you may, where you can, and the best you can. There will be no shortage of rainfall chances, opportunities, coverages, and amount. This may be probably our last wetter weather pattern as we wind through the second half of May, very beginning part of June here, as we get deeper into the summertime season. And I think it continues to be building a warmth and heat and dry time and diminishing of rainfall opportunities. So that said, out the door this morning, 62 at Willard and Savoy, 58 at Rantoul. A few sprinkles west of Paris and southeast of Tuscola. A little rain south of the I-70 corridor. One of those southeastern Brother Johnny type weather systems tracking up northwest in our direction. So a couple of showers breaking out as the day wears on today. Champaign on southward this morning and building northward this afternoon. Maybe a rumble of thunder, 76. Lingering shower thunderstorm this evening. Overnight lows down to 61. Partly sunny for the day tomorrow. Up near 80 with a shower thunderstorm threat morning. More so tomorrow afternoon. Then Wednesday, warm, dry, patchy fog early. Partly sunny up to 82. A couple of showers and thunderstorms early and late in the day on Thursday. And a 90-degree high. 86 on Friday. We're dry there. Dry Saturday, cooler at 79 in the 70s with increasing scattered showers and thunderstorms Sunday into Monday of next week. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soltke.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much. All right, that just was a stunning coincidence. Here's the picture. I'm going to show it on the camera on our streaming of the Pope in 2005.
Wow. There he is. Looks just like him. It's a close-up.
Yeah, but I mean, think about the randomness of it.
Right.
If it's the World Series, the White Sox are about to win the World Series, and they flash to one person to be Diane Ducey, the odds of that just aren't very good.
You're right.
And they held it on for 3 seconds. I think it would have been really even more impressive if the Chiron would have said future Pope. That would have been really impressive. Anyway, it's just
if it would have been me, I probably would have had a great big Chicago dog hanging out of my mouth, and then a little blurb of ketchup on my shirt, so and all that.
Well, anyway, it's I don't know what was so compelling. I mean, he's still a man, but he's the Pope.
I know.
What is a larger? I guess president of China, you got more than 1.4 billion living in China now, but this is 1.4 billion Catholics. And essentially, it's such a spiritual high, it was for me anyway, just to celebrate Christianity and the fact that everybody's happy.
Yeah.
You don't get the family happy that often.
You're right about
the whole
that.
family's happy. Everybody at St. Peter's Square, the Vatican's happy. I don't know what kind of Pope he's going to be, but God bless him and good luck.
Yes.
Rooting for him. But I just think throwing out the first pitch would be brilliant.
I guess there's been some White Sox fans going to the game with the Pope hat and that kind of
you be careful with the reverence and all that. I don't. I mean,
here we go.
Yeah. You just, and I don't know how with the Pope attire, it's going to be difficult to actually do a wind up and a pitch. So you'll have to do something. I don't know what. Make sure it's loose enough to throw the baseball and stuff. But it's a connective thing for Americans to say, here's a guy who likes playing tennis. You play tennis, you probably love to play, probably pretty good at it. He's 69 years old. In the league of being a Pope, that's really youthful. It really is. 69, you'd have to go back a ways to find a Pope that young. Anyway, it was just an odd social media post of the Pope in future Pope in 2005 that somehow got picked out of a crowd of 50,000.
Well, his brother John certainly is making the rounds with Chicago media, and is the one that kind of started these claims, from what I understand. And to zoom in on that shot, I mean, we see him.
Well, if your family member was at the World Series and they zoomed in, you'd remember if Gary Ducey
absolutely.
So you'd tip somebody off and say, "Can you believe that?" And that's, I'm sure, how they got it. But otherwise, you don't go scouring in case he was at a White Sox game. Like, what? No, somebody told him.
Your brother Bob is the Pope. I mean, that's just so crazy.
It's Robert to you. Let's check your sports headlines.
Pope Leo the 14th.
Oh, that's right. That's correct. Robert John. When they said Robert John, I'm going, that's a weird Italian name. Oh, it's an American?
Yeah. Crazy. All right. St. Louis Cardinals win over the Washington Nationals, the final 6-1. Here's the update.
8 in a row.
8 in a row?
Yeah.
Go Cardinals.
Cardinals got it going on, but I've got good news for the Cubs and not so good for the Cardinals coming up. Stand by.
The Redbird Recap is sponsored by Helitech Waterproofing and Foundation Repair. Heal your home with Helitech.
With Ricky Horton, I'm John Rooney. The Cardinals are in Philadelphia today, and a great matchup tonight with Matthew Liberatore against Christopher Sanchez. But the Cardinals finished off a 3-game sweep at Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. They won on Mother's Day 6-1, and they've won 8 in a row.
Pitching was great again in D.C. Miles Michaelis picked up the win yesterday. Had really good work out of the bullpen behind him, especially by Steven Matz. But the Cardinals also used the long ball to win the game yesterday as they hit 3 big flies, Arenado, Contreras, and Nootbaar.
And the Cardinals were able to get to 9 hits in the game. And with the games tight, I think the early losses in the season have helped this team overcome some of those problems where they're putting some games away.
We have been watching day after day the Cardinals learning how to win close games.
On the air at 4:50 from Philadelphia, 5:35, Ricky will have the lineups.
Is your home showing symptoms of foundation issues? Your home's wet basement, dingy crawl space, musty smells, cracked walls, or unlevel concrete shouldn't be ignored. Helitech can help. Life happens in your home. You and your family deserve the best. Helitech offers proven solutions in waterproofing, drainage, concrete leveling, and foundation repair services. Contact us for a free inspection at helitechonline.com.
When the water's high, we'll keep your basement dry. Heal your home with Helitech.
New York Mets beat the Cubs 6-2, so
yeah, it's okay though.
Cubs losing, Cardinals winning means...
It's 1 game out. Cubs are just 1 game ahead of St. Louis for first place in the Central, but Cubs, the Cubs should win 8 of their next 9.
In Miami, or facing Miami 640.
I think it's like Miami, the White Sox, Miami.
Right. Colorado Rockies. Enough to fire
right,
their
but
coach.
We don't play
that's not in the series.
No.
So, okay.
The next 9 Cubs should win most all. It's Miami, the White Sox, Miami.
Okay, gotcha.
That's 9 games. They should win a lot of them. If you're not winning 8 or 7 out of 9, whoo. And then the Cardinals have a bunch of tough teams coming up. So remember the Cubs played all the Dodgers 8 times, the Padres. I mean, they had a really rough early schedule, and they came through it all right. Now they've got a chance to get real green again. So we'll see. Baseball, you never know. But, boy, the Colorado Rockies might be on the trend to beat the White Sox loss record last year. That's how bad the Rockies. They're 7-33. So.
That's right. And the White Sox are 12-29. They beat the Miami Marlins yesterday. That final was 4-2. So
there's no way the White Sox are as bad as the Rockies right now. So
NCAA tournament.
Yep, we're going to talk about that in a second. Yep, we will talk about that in a moment. Let's check weather. Brought to you this morning by Carl.
Carl reminds you you're outside more. Make sure you check your skin regularly. If you notice any changes, you can find out more at carl.org/skin cancer.
Well, again, everyone, let's check weather for East Central Illinois, Champaign and vicinity, diminishing, shrinking, and closing windows of opportunity here this week from an outdoor work and certainly a field work perspective across the area. The Vanguard to an increasingly wet and active and moisture-laden one over the next 10 days to 2 weeks over a wide area of the Corn Belt of East Central Illinois included. Matter of fact, some shower activity welling up from the south out of one of those southern states' weather systems to the north and northwest on the track on that rainfall. The high to about 76, arriving later on this morning and more so this afternoon. A couple of showers, isolated thunderstorms this evening. Again, back in after midnight, low down to 61. Tomorrow, partly sunny and isolated shower thunderstorm in spots for the morning, but more so, better coverages tomorrow afternoon. Highs nearing 80, though, and a light southeast wind. Partly sunny, warm at 82 for the day on Wednesday. Patchy fog early on. Could get hot here for a time Thursday up near 90. Isolated shower thunderstorm early and late. That'll linger into Friday, sunshine and 86. And a little cooler for the weekend with shower activity back in on Sunday. For TVJ Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solje.
Take charge of the years ahead with a smart, sound investment strategy and business succession plan. UC Bank's business and wealth management experts help you envision your best future with powerful insights and proven strategies. Building business and growing wealth since 1868. Busey Bank, proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
I'm Jerry Willis, and this is the Fox Business Report. We're seeing a rally on Wall Street ahead of the opening bell on cooling U.S. and China trade tensions following the weekend's talks in Geneva, which resulted in substantial cuts to reciprocal tariffs on both sides. Though the de minimis exemptions, low-value e-commerce packages from China, are still subject to tariffs. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says he's likely to meet with China again in the next few weeks to work on a bigger agreement. And Krispy Kreme celebrating the 45th anniversary of Pac-Man with a new donut collection inspired by the iconic game. The food chain is also giving away 45,000 free original glazed donuts May 12th to the 18th at participating stores. The giveaway is during hot light hours, and there's a limit of one per guest per day. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Lillian Wu, invested in you.
The world of business moves fast. Stay on top of it with the Fox Business Rundown every Monday and Friday. Fox Business reporters, anchors, and hosts will bring you beneath the stock market speculation and boardroom drama to tell you about the biggest business stories of today. Whether you're on Main Street or Wall Street, Fox Business is invested in you.
Listen to the Fox Business Rundown every Monday and Friday at foxbusinesspodcasts.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
The best time to save is now at Carpet Weavers during National Karastan Month. Save with rebates up to $1,000 on Karastan carpets and floors. Beautiful carpets, gorgeous luxury vinyl flooring. You simply can't miss out on this sale. Plus, take advantage of instant rebates on all furniture too. Save $250 on every $1,000 you spend. All with free financing for 2 years. Don't miss National Karastan Month, going on now at Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery.
At Pards in Urbana, the boots just keep on coming. They're known for their huge collection of men's cowboy boots, women's cowgirl boots, kids' boots, and even shoes. If you're searching for top footwear brands, look no further than Pards. They carry a wide variety, including Ariat, Dan Post, Smoky Mountain, Roper, Double H, and more. And if socks or accessories are what you need, they've got all your high-quality essentials. Since 1968, Pards has been serving their customers with high-quality merchandise. And if you haven't been to Pards in a while, a lot has changed. Go check them out just off University Avenue in Urbana.
Yeah, you got a big-time golf regional here. This is the first time we've had this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the Atkins Golf Club at Stone Creek.
13 programs, 10 individuals with this 54-hole tournament, 18 holes each day.
Okay, so today, tomorrow, Wednesday. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you'll see... I can't tell you. I think Jack Nicklaus played at the Orange Course in the 1960s. That's the legend. He was playing at Ohio State. I can't say there's going to be another Jack Nicklaus, but there will be some PGA tournament players eventually someday. A bunch of them, I would think, out of 54 holes and 10 teams of 5, and then 10 individuals.
13 programs.
13 is 100. So 5 times 13, 10 individuals. 75 players. And so the 10 guys that are individuals are guys that didn't have teams that were good enough to make it as a team.
Mm-hmm.
But they were real good and they qualified anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That's the beauty about golf. That's why I think I evolved so much to it. There's really not much. If you have 2 guys tied and one guy throws his clubs and the other guys, you go with the guy that doesn't throw his clubs.
Yeah.
If they're tied.
Well, it's par 71. 7,533 yards.
Oh, my word. That stretches that far now?
They talk about how long it is.
Well, the normal golf courses that men play around Champaign-Urbana are 6,500. Maybe 6,700.
Jackson Buchanan is like, this course is long. I'm so excited.
Yeah, well, good for you, Jackson. He's not particularly playing that well right now.
Oh, he isn't?
Last couple of tournaments haven't been great for him.
He's cute.
But he's a senior. Jackson Buchanan, one of our leaders.
Mm-hmm.
And the Illini, again, getting to play on their home course. So that's a big advantage of where to put the ball. You know, these guys are so good. They've done their homework. They're going to know where to put the ball. They've had practice rounds all day. They've been here all weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's a big, it's free.
Yes.
Just go park and walk and find some golfers, and guess what? They're all going to be good. You'll see people hit the golf ball that you've never seen before, because these guys at this level will still boom it over 300 yards. And chances are very good it's going to be straight. What you would notice if you've not seen this level of play is everybody hits bad shots. It's relative to your banana slice and their bad one. You know, their bad one goes a little left or a little right, probably never goes out of bounds, that kind of stuff.
Right.
But they're still in trouble. They're in the trees in the thick grass. It'd be interesting to see how it's set up at Stone Creek, see if the grass is tall, they let it go. They use cart only for the last month, meaning they want a bunch of cart tracks on it. They want to keep it pristine.
Yes, I feel like I've seen some behind the scenes and the way they're preparing the grounds and the different levels that they have to have on the grass length and how short it has to be there. And you know what I mean?
No, they've taken, I'm sure it's manicured as good as it's going to be for us now. Hopefully there's no fungus somewhere on any green, nothing like that. I'm sure they're fine. But no, it's a fantastic opportunity to see some high-level play. But you'll find they all make bad shots. And then they figure out how to make 4. Why? Because they're able to scramble. They'll get the ball within 30 yards of the green and probably have 6 feet to make par. And they usually make those. They're just stunning. It's stunning how good the game has gotten. I mean, these guys that play today in this level, I think were the 1980s PGA players. That's how good the game has evolved to the point of 50 guys can win on a weekend on the PGA because they make all their putts.
Man, this is Jackson Buchanan's 4th straight NCAA regional start for the Illini.
I'm telling you, He's
been good.
You come to the Mike Small program, you make postseason and you make noise.
So then we have junior Ryan Boyce and Max Herendeen will each start their 2nd regional tournament, and Illinois freshman Jake Birdwell and Trey Marion and sophomore Ethan Wilson are looking forward to their first NCAA regional experience.
Trying to figure out where you would stand. Sometimes like Cog Hill, you'd go to 12 or whatever that was, where you go at 12 at the Masters is a good spot because you see them come in on 11, you can see the 12 tee shot. Anyway, there's strategies, and if you think about Stone Creek, because you've all been out there, golfers have been out there, so you kind of know what would be strategic. If you want to watch the Illini, then you get ahead of the 5th guy, and then the one guy comes by. They just pair them in teams, five pairs in a row.
Boy, Trey Marion, 6'4". That's
tall
a long golfer.
Get extra long sticks.
Yes.
All right, 217-359-2255. You want to jump on the Fisher National Bank text line, you're welcome to do that.
What a terrific Mother's Day. The weekend weather was just so great. I just love it.
No, we had a great one.
Love my
too.
family.
Yeah, me as well. And we went to church with Mom, which was really, really cool. Ron Strack over at Meadowbrook, a wonderful sermon on mothers. And you think you got it tough. Read the end of Genesis when Leah is one of the mothers for Jacob, who has 12 sons, the 12 tribes of Israel. And what she went through and what all the women, it's just, we've evolved somewhat.
Yes.
Where you're not just one of the mothers. It was great. Anyway, we enjoyed being with Mom. I had her for lunch and then went to Clinton Lake. We really like going out there.
All right.
Beautiful, beautiful water.
Sounds
and
terrific.
everything else. Had a great time honoring my wife, Janet. So it was a great day, and hope you had a good Mother's Day weekend as well. All right, the news will be next. Stand by. I got a guy who, interesting perspective on Donald Trump. Interesting perspective on Donald Trump. We will get to that next, and I think you're probably going to be, there'll be a lot of people that agree exactly with what he says. Stand by.
You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
This is Starla Carr with Provident Financial Group. There's no one-size-fits-all retirement plan. Finding the right plan for you depends on many factors.
The good news is we can help you improve your retirement readiness, whatever your situation. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Want unbeatable prices on your next furniture purchase, but also seeking that local hometown feel? Look no further than Kelsey Furniture in Tuscola. Customers rave about their friendly, established staff, as well as their great selection, amazing prices, and second-to-none delivery service. They're a third-generation local business, and they've always got your best interests at heart. Find the look you love for less. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Saturday, but always available online at kelseyfurniture.com. That's kelseyfurniture.com.
I'm CJ Papa on the road toward a permanent trade deal with China. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent in Geneva.
We do want trade. We want more balanced trade. And I think that both sides are committed to achieving that.
Tariffs on goods from China are cut to 10%, but the 20% tariff imposed on China for not doing enough to stop the flow of fentanyl to the U.S. remains in place. President Trump delivers a break to millions of Americans.
The president is signing an executive order today that is going to implement most favored nations drug pricing, and is going to reduce the cost of drugs in this country by more than half at least.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt earlier on Fox and Friends. The president travels to Saudi Arabia today, then Qatar and the UAE. And the White House confirms Qatar is offering the U.S. a luxury 747 jet to be used as a new Air Force One, but details need to be worked out. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. A wanted fugitive in custody after she was arrested in Mattoon. Authorities say Mattoon police assisting U.S. Marshals in locating Carrie Coates for an outstanding warrant. She was arrested in the 1900 block of Western Avenue. Carl Health in Champaign expected to lay off more than 600 employees starting in July at 3310 Fields Drive in Champaign. Carl says they'll lay off 612 starting July 8. They say it's due to Carl's subsidiaries Health Alliance and First Carolina Care ending all insurance plans other than Medicare Advantage by January 1. Representative Robin Kelly is the second well-known Democrat to announce a campaign for Senate Dick Durbin seat. Kelly has served as a congresswoman since 2013, representing a district spanning from the Chicago suburbs along the Indiana border to Danville and West Rantoul and Pontiac. Kelly joins Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton, who jumped into the Senate race as well. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Let's check your weather, brought to you this morning by Kramer Siding and Window.
Your premier provider for home improvements. In fact, if you want to get some gutter helmet, new siding, a new door, there's all kinds of discounts too. Learn more at kramersiding.com.
Well, again, everyone, let's check weather for you, Central Illinois, Champaign and Manhattan vicinity. A little more late spring, early summer feel as the week wears on, but diminishing, shrinking, and certainly closing windows of opportunity here from a multi-day basis expected to begin here this week and carry on certainly into next week as we cool it down and ramp it back up into a weather mode. Enjoy it while you may here as the next couple of weeks progress. In the meantime, considerable cloudiness, highs to about 76, a couple of spotty showers before the morning is done, and maybe even an isolated thunderstorm back in this afternoon along with the shower activity and a light east wind. 76 today, 61 for tonight, lingering shower thunderstorm chance early and again late. Tomorrow partly sunny, smaller rain chances both morning and late afternoon. The high though nearing 80. We'll bottom out near 60 tomorrow night, maybe a fog patch here Wednesday morning, partly sunny, warm at 82. We'll flirt with 90 on Thursday, small chance for shower thunderstorm early and late. That moves out early Friday at 86. We cool off for the weekend. Showers are back in Sunday to Monday. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
Here's another home improvement insight from Kramer Siding and Window. New roofing and siding are a winning combination that can instantly change the look, feel, and function of your home. Our Kramer Siding and Window team takes pride in being an Owens Corning Platinum Preferred contractor, able to offer a best-in-the-business 50-year warranty. Pair it with preservation siding in your favorite style and color, and your home will be a showstopper. Start today and save 10% on roofing and 25% on siding. Call us, click on kramersiding.com, or visit the showroom in Champaign.
Well, if you heard the news about China and the USA meeting in Switzerland for 2 full days and coming forth now, well, it appears to be a 90-day negotiating session where the tariffs have been pretty much wiped out. And I understand China was closing factories essentially at 145% That was our tariff on China. That's
Right.
it's like an embargo.
Yeah.
You don't let the ships in. They just wouldn't. They can't come. So they were losing factories. I mean, it was happening pretty quickly. There were actually protests going on in China, which they tend not to allow.
Right.
So you got to watch yourself on those. But anyway, apparently, again, you got to hold everybody's feet to the fire, make sure they follow up with what they, all part of the 90 days coming forth. But the fact that you might have just made a better deal with China will just mean a whole lot of money to the USA and a chance maybe to get some of our product into China like we haven't been able to do before. So this is fabulous news. The markets are bouncing up over 1,000 already. So last week when Donald Trump said, boy, it's a good time to get in the market, he's essentially giving you a tip. You might want to work this out because we ain't doing 145% tariff with China. That's what he does. He ruffles it up. He makes it impossible to ignore the story. What did the Democrats say this morning? Isn't this not really good, positive, potential news? This is great. Unbelievable. He cut executive order today on cutting drug prices in half. How dare you criticize that? What? So what are they going to say today?
There's something.
Oh,
there's
there'll be something.
in there
I'm
somewhere.
sure. I'm just trying to think about what it is. He's just so obnoxious, I guess.
Right.
Hitler. Yeah. So here's a guy named Stephen Kuhn. Never heard of him. But I think he's a pretty good recap on how a lot of Americans feel about Donald Trump.
He said Trump often says wrong things, but he seems to be the only one doing the right things. I get asked a lot, where I stand on Trump. And the truth is, well, it's complicated. Do I agree with everything that he says? No. Do I shake my head sometimes and wonder, what is he doing? Absolutely. He says things that seem crazy. He picks fights. He throws grenades into the conversation and then walks away. But here's the thing that no one really wants to admit. Conflict creates focus. He knows that. He creates tension, so the world has to look at Canada, at immigration, at the border, at inflation, at globalist control. He doesn't try to be liked. He doesn't try to sound polished. He tries to drive attention because that's where he forces the issues into the light. Now, do I wish that he'd say things differently sometimes? Heck yeah. He alienates people. He offends people. Even I have to take a breath sometimes and ask, wow, what did he just say? But then I zoom out and I ask one question. Who else is out there that's willing to take the hits? Who else is standing up? Who else is being investigated, raided, attacked, sued, slandered, and still shows up? And don't forget, they tried to take him out twice as well. You don't get that close to a former president without help. That's not a lone gunman. That's a system sending a message. And still, he's standing there. Not the left. They're bought, owned. Not most of the conservatives either, because they're too busy protecting their own positions. They don't want to risk their careers, their donors, their re-election. President Trump, he's basically on his own. The media hates him. His own party betrays him. His family gets dragged down. His businesses get torn apart. And yet, he's still standing there. Is he perfect? Far from it. But when the system is this corrupt, when every institution is compromised, when your enemies play dirty, lie, and still smile for the cameras, you don't beat that with polite words and a handshake. You beat it by being unignorable. I don't support everything that he says. I don't excuse everything that he does. But I ask myself one thing. Who else is even trying?
Nobody.
Because if you take Trump out of the picture, what's left? So until someone else is willing to risk everything, he may be all we've got.
No, he is all we have. It's a one and done deal. You're never going to have another guy like this that's not afraid politically to just do this because he thinks it's the right thing to do. And to take on tariffs with the whole world? He's crazy. What are you doing? We're going to die. And no.
Well, there's so many things. It's about time we took a look and see how unfair it is for Americans.
Well, that's what he's trying to point out. But usually politicians that want reelected or want their party to do well, they don't risk this. If the tariffs would go really south, it'd be really bad because recessions and all these other things they talk about. There's no tariffs. It's a negotiating thing that he will do if he's forced, and then we'll see what happens. But it sounds like he understands that America, you can't do without me. Sorry. No, you're so arrogant. No, it's just kind of factual. We're the only really superpower in the world with the kind of economy we have, the power we have with our military and everything else. So it's just even all this good, positive hope, the Democrats, the left, will be against this and hate him more. Because now what are they going to do? What are they going to say today? You might have a deal with China. Well, it's still a bad deal. We take advantage of people and we bulldoze it. Just unbelievable. It's just what he said at the State of the Union. No matter what I do, it won't make you happy. And this present from Qatar, the country spelled Qatar, it's called Qatar. They said they're giving Donald Trump a 747. Oh, he's giving the government. They're giving the United States. It's not Donald Trump's plane. It's Air Force One. But Qatar's an ally. I mean, they've been very helpful in some things. But do you trust it? You put the president in an airplane somebody else built. You're going to check every wire. What if it was Apollo 13 and the oxygen tank kind of doesn't turn right because they didn't put the wiring properly together?
Interesting.
I'd really graciously say thank you and put my vice president in it. No, I'm kidding. I would really. This day and age, you want another country to know where all the wires and you know how long that would take to explore every wire in a 747 built, tricked out, and everything else for the president? I'm just too skeptical of the world right now.
10 minutes ago, details of Qatar's plane offer still being worked out.
Well, here's my problem with it. It's already built.
Right.
I'd rather build my own plane with our own security guys, the Secret Service, all this stuff.
Do they have some kind of bugging?
Here, how about this? Mr. President, I made you the best hamburger. Here. You eating it?
Well, now that you're proposing,
well, I'm just saying you've got to be.
There could be a problem. They don't might pass. Depends how hungry I am.
It's just, do you trust stuff like that when there's so many who want Donald Trump to die?
Right.
So I'm going to give him 900 miles of wire. Mm-hmm. I can't check I mean, it'll take years to go through the whole plane to make sure you just rebuild it. Why don't you tell you this? Why don't you give me $4.5 billion? I'll build my own. You keep your plane. I want to build my home with my guys.
There you go.
I can't do it. I just can't.
But I'll take the money so I can make my own
plane. Give me $4.5 billion, but I don't. Sorry.
Boom. Let's do it that way.
I don't trust that with the president of the United States because theoretically they could booby trap something.
I know it.
How would you find that? Just one of those thoughts randomly came into my head, but nice gesture.
There you go.
Anyway, lots of positive. If we're able to lower drug prices. I mean, that's just huge for particularly our elderly. Some of the money you've been spending at the prescription office, yeah. You can always jump on.
359-2255.
217 texter, plane is a red herring for journalists for the left, probably complaining, hey, Gabe, you can't give the president a gift like that. Well, it's for the office of the presidency. It's not for Donald Trump. He's not keeping it. He doesn't need it, okay? I really like the fact that he's not emboldened to anybody, doesn't owe anybody money, he doesn't have to kowtow to special interests because he just doesn't do it.
Well, here's something about Trump building a National Center for Homeless Veterans. What's wrong with that? What are the Democrats going to say about that?
It's what again? It's
a Center for Homeless Veterans, with funds previously spent on housing illegal aliens. So
it's not true. He's actually building it for his rich friends or something. It's not going to be what you... It is just... It actually takes creativity to come up with reasons you hate Trump. And it's remarkable that the man is doing some things here we've needed done. How long did it take to close the border? 30 days?
Right.
30 days, 20 million people are in here. We're going to be sorting that out for decades.
So I clicked on the article. Los Angeles has approximately 3,000 homeless veterans, more than any other city, accounting for about 10% of all the homeless veterans, according to the White House. So they're looking to make this National Center for Warrior Independence to help veterans rebuild their lives.
Well, that's a pretty good thing.
That'd be great.
I wonder what they'll say about that.
Goal is to house up to 6,000 homeless veterans by 2028 at the center.
And an American family is joyful this morning because their American is being released by Hamas, still alive.
Okay.
So that's also another positive news item. Okay, 217-359-2255, the Fisher National Bank text line. I have a clip from kind of a nerdy professor. You know, sometimes you think you want to kind of stay in the loop. and understand what today's youth are thinking and talking like, right?
Okay.
Yeah, Doobie Brothers. Let's go.
All right.
I mean, right now I don't feel so disassociated with the language or anything else. But this professor is going to be speaking to this high school of kids that are, 14, 15, 16 years old, and starts talking about language and linguistics, and they're just like holding their heads, oh boy. And then he says, I'm going to now talk in your language. Yeah, I don't know what he's saying.
Is that right?
So we'll see if Diane Ducey knows what he's saying. He'll be coming up.
I'm pretty hip to the jargon these days.
Okay, well, I mean, if there's anybody in this room that'd be hip to the jargon, it'd be you, not me. That's for darn sure. But I lost them. So if you want to hear what our 15-year-olds are saying and how they're saying it.
15.
Oh, you're out of touch, aren't you? It's only been 5 years.
Right.
Anyway, let's check sports headlines.
Well, St. Louis beat Washington 6-1. Now they've got a series starting up against Philadelphia, 5:45 start. New York Mets over the Cubs 6-2. They've got a series starting up at 6:40 against Miami's Marlins. Or is it Florida? It's Miami's.
The Miami Marlins.
Okay.
Their name is Miami. I presume it's Miami. I think it used to be Florida Marlins.
Okay, that's why I'm getting confused.
I think so, but I think it's Miami Marlins now.
And Chicago White Sox beat the Marlins yesterday 4-2. So what's that say about Miami?
Well, the Cubs have a very favorable schedule.
Yes.
6 with the Marlins.
We'll take it,
3
especially
with the White
Sox.
Sox.
Cardinals pecking at our heels.
Yeah, Cardinals are just a game behind the Cubs
Just
in first
a game
place.
behind.
8 in a row. That's a significant winning streak.
know.
Well, they go to Philadelphia tonight with a hot Kyle Schwarber who tied with the league lead for home runs.
What is it, 14?
14 home runs. Why did the Cubs let him go?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't get it. He couldn't play the field. And Dale Kirby said this morning it was because Kyle Schwarber had to play left field. Now they have a designated hitter spot.
Mhm.
That's where he belongs. He's not a very good fielder.
Okay.
So that's probably the best explanation is why the Cubs let Schwarber get away, because he's one of the top home run hitters in baseball for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He did done well at Wrigley.
He's got a big old club.
Oh, yeah.
Ready to bang it out.
Yep.
Well, we had Oklahoma City over Denver 92-87. That series tied at a game apiece. Indiana Pacers are on a roll. They're 3-1 up on Cleveland, up by 41 points at the half at 129-109 over Cleveland yesterday. And the Colorado Rockies have let go of Bud Black. And it looks like the GM, Bill Schmidt, then is taking over the Rockies to try to turn around this 7-33 record.
Yeah, not
worst
very,
in
not very
MLB.
good. I think the NBA in these playoff games losing by 41 at half. I think they just essentially say we're not winning tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saving the legs on my guys. They put everybody else in and just get through the game. They don't care about margin. If you're going to lose, you're going to lose, and you save your energy because it's hard. These guys put it all out every night at this level.
Illinois baseball lost to UCLA 8-4 yesterday, and it looks like Parkland's baseball team is out of the NJCAA tournament, ending their season at 33-19. Still incredible. And same with Parkland softball, had lost over the weekend, so they end up 36-16 on their season. Of course, the trending story is this NCAA regional tournament with 13 programs and 10 individuals happening at Atkins Golf Club.
You'll love it. It's a real great opportunity. Some terrific players.
Weather for this, too.
Yeah, it is. And it's free.
Mm-hmm.
And it's free. Watts Copy Systems, they offer cost-efficient solutions for your busy office. You might get a bunch of savings if you'll let them do a free evaluation. Call Watts Copy Systems today, 217-352-0428. Weather this morning brought to you by Busey for over 155 years. Busey, member FDIC.
Well, again, everyone, let's check weather for East Central Illinois, Champaign and Mid vicinity. A little more late spring, early summer feel as the week wears on, but diminishing, shrinking, and certainly closing windows of opportunity here from a multi-day basis expected to begin here this week and carry on certainly into next week as we cool it down and ramp it back up into a weather mode. Enjoy it while you may here as the next couple of weeks progress. In the meantime, considerable cloudiness, highs to about 76. A couple of spotty showers before the morning is done, and maybe even an isolated thunderstorm back in this afternoon, along with the shower activity and a light east wind. 76 today, 61 for tonight. Lingering shower thunderstorm chance early and again late. Tomorrow, partly sunny. Smaller rain chances both morning and late afternoon. The high, though, nearing 80. We'll bottom out near 60 tomorrow night. Maybe a fog patch here Wednesday morning. Partly sunny, warm at 82. We'll flirt with 90 on Thursday. Small chance for shower thunderstorm early and late. That moves out early Friday at 86. We cool off for the weekend. Showers are back in Sunday to Monday. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
All righty, here we go. It's ESPN 93.5. There's Diane Ducey.
Good morning.
I have a clip from a nerdy professor.
Trying to be hip then, with all the jargon and things kids are saying these days.
He essentially crafted a way to talk.
Okay.
And by the reaction, it's like, what's he saying? So we'll see how Diane Ducey does with this.
Okay.
But this is the guy, he comes in, he actually looks like he's 16.
Okay.
But he's like a 34-year-old nerdy professor.
Good morning, everyone. It's a true honor to be here at Westtown High School for Languages Week. Your school invited me to give a guest lecture about the importance of learning languages, but it occurred to me that all of you are already, in some sense, multilingual, whether you realize it or not. And that's because you speak the Gen Alpha dialect of English.
Gen Alpha dialect.
A language so distinct.
All right, now they're holding their heads going, oh, man, that's it.
That I, an aging 34-year-old millennial, genuinely cannot understand it. Or at least couldn't understand it before I spent weeks immersed in TikTok videos studying your dialect to partial fluency.
Interesting.
And because nothing drives home the importance of learning languages better than hearing someone else try to speak your own, I'm going to try to deliver the rest of this speech in your very own native tongue. Gen Alpha. But wait.
It's pretty good.
Of course, to facilitate the comprehension of my fellow elders on YouTube watching this as a video, I'll also be including subtitles in standard English.
I needed those.
Without further ado, it's low-key a huge W to be vibing here at Westtown High School for Languages Week.
All right, happy to be here.
Right.
Okay.
Big win.
But chat, let's lock in. Propane prepared. Now, I know it's giving to Lulu for this chuggy boomer.
No idea.
Like delusional, probably?
Lulu is delusional?
Delulu, he said?
To speak in such skibbity brain rot. But if you'll bear with me, I'll put the fries in the bag in just a second.
I'll get to the point.
Mm-hmm. I do actually have a message here, type shit. As I was saying, no cap, I was dead-ass pressed about understanding this language. But I had to absorb the drip so I wouldn't get aired by your generation.
Okay, I mean, kinda. But they reacted to the point of like going, yeah, man, right on.
Right,
high key, people think Gen Alpha slang is just memes and brain rot, but on God, it's giving linguistic glow-up core happening IRL.
What?
Every time you drop a gyat, or it's giving.
Drop a gyat.
You're legit patching the English language DLC with fresh updates. Literally shifting the English meta. Language evolves because you're constantly cooking new ways to pass the vibe check. And honestly, your memes today finna hit as the textbook vocab of tomorrow. Bet. And this is exactly why learning languages hits different.
That's a professor at a high school really connecting with his audience.
Like how your casual Pookie talk...
What the heck I say? Oh, I feel 900 again. 900 years old.
I mean, back in the day, I'm sure there were things that you would say that, the older generation was like, what the heck is he talking about?
Probably right. I have no idea what that would have been.
Groovy or something?
I don't know. No, I can't think of Groovy was But the way you said groovy, it'd be like, oh, they think it's cool. And what's cool mean? Well, that's way to go. It's talking my language. I mean, would cool and groovy equate to some of that?
But there was a lot of phrases that were hard to pick up on.
I don't know the extent of it. There were words, certainly, but to get to a kind of a pig Latin kind of a thing.
It's hard to try to construct a speech like that, too. Good for him.
Weeks on TikTok videos.
Making sense of it all.
No, I mean, listen, language is something, and what you think somebody means maybe, I mean, like, for instance, in the last few decades has been, man, you're so bad.
Right.
I mean, you're really cool.
Right.
You're so bad. What do you mean?
Well, and technically speaking, you're killing it. You're a slave.
Yeah, no, that's true.
That
too.
means good things.
And then if you take it literally,
right?
When my dad came to America, he was on a troop ship, and they said, "All hands on deck." And he looked at his hands. He didn't know what they meant. He didn't speak English.
Like maybe put your hands on the board,
on the deck,
underneath his feet.
Push up or something. I don't. No, I can take the literal sense, but just the linguistics talent of this guy was. And again, he looked 15 years old, so he probably connected that one too. All right, the news is coming up. 217-359-2255. Maybe y'all remember a term we used to use.
Keep on trucking. Far out. I just did slang from the 70s. And
keep on trucking.
Dig it?
Yeah.
Cool beans came from back then, huh?
Yeah.
Catch you on the flip side?
Yeah, okay. I mean, that would be somebody that would be my age then would go, what do you mean flip? Right. You want me to flip? Flip a pancake? Flip a body? Flip a... What are we talking? Oh, you're right. It evolves, but I guess it's cool.
Do me a solid.
Yep.
Copacetic, jive, boogie, all the stuff from the music is coming up now.
Some of the jive talk in the 70s. Big old hair and that kind of jive, man. I got jive. Okay, it's educational. Nice. How old am I? Here we go. The news will be next. We are live in downtown Philo. We are broadcasting also on X, formerly known as Twitter.
And school's finishing up and graduation's on the horizon now.
Lots of high schools the end of the month, right?
Yep.
And then U of I is this weekend.
But for the seniors, they're pretty much wrapping up this week.
May 12 today. Yeah, well, that's exciting.
With the finals and
all
all
of
that.
The whole senioritis is still a thing, right?
Absolutely.
All right, we'll be right back. The news coming up. It's ESPN 93.5. PDR Automotive has now been serving the Champaign-Urbana area for over 50 years. To give you some perspective, 50 years ago ended the U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War, and it was when Secretariat won the Triple Crown. So what does that mean for you and your vehicle? Whether you need a carburetor overhauled or your new vehicle computer system diagnosed or programmed, PDR Automotive has the experienced, knowledgeable staff that can handle all your automotive needs. Online at pdrauto.com. They are what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR.
Jets is hiring. Call 217-352-9992 or stop into 1907 West Springfield Avenue near Round Barn in Champaign. Jets is open till 10 p.m., Fridays and Saturdays till midnight. Are you looking for a side hustle? Here's Josh from Jets talking about the benefits of doing deliveries.
When I was a delivery driver, it was amazing how much the actual amount of money I had just shot right up. It's hard to describe. You have money in your pocket every single day.
For details on joining the team, visit jetspizza.com.
Hi, I'm Sam Banks from the Champaign Rotary Club. This May 30th, join the Champaign Rotary Club for our tri-annual Action Auction at the iHotel and Conference Center. Our goal is to raise $300,000 to support reading and literacy skills for children across our community. We're partnering with Books from Breck to provide books to several organizations in Champaign-Urbana, with special guests Hope and Josh Whitman as our Service Above Self Action Auction honorees. For more information, visit champaignrotary.info.
At Pards in Urbana, the boots just keep on coming. They're known for their huge collection of men's cowboy boots, women's cowgirl boots, kids' boots, and even shoes. If you're searching for top footwear brands, look no further than Pards. They carry a wide variety, including Ariat, Dan Post, Smoky Mountain, Roper, Double H, and more. And if socks or accessories are what you need, they've got all your high-quality essentials. Since 1968, Pards has been serving their customers with high-quality merchandise. And if you haven't been to Pards in a while, a lot has changed. Go check them out just off University Avenue in Urbana.
Jesse with Land's Drain Cleaning. Do you have your sewer line cleaned every year? Are you constantly getting roots or blockages? Why deal with that headache year after year? Call Land's Drain Cleaning today at 217-355-5512 to have our expert staff come out, clean your line. We give you a free camera inspection, show you what's wrong, where it's at, and then we can offer you a repair for that problem so you don't have to deal with it again. Land's Drain Cleaning. Why call anyone else?
You've changed thousands of diapers, played hours of peekaboo and duck duck goose because you do anything for your kids. That's why it's so important to protect them with life insurance from State Farm. State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow will help make it easy and affordable to help you protect your family no matter what the future holds. Because for the people you do anything for, life insurance could mean everything. Call State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow in Champaign-Urbana today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home.
A stock market rally is brewing. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Reacting to that U.S.-China trade deal. Dow futures up about 1,000 points before the opening bell in a half hour.
Neither side wants a decoupling.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent after weekend talks in Switzerland to ease a trade war that's halted most U.S. and Chinese imports and exports.
The equivalent of an embargo, and neither side wants that.
For 90 days, both countries will slash tariffs by 115%. So the U.S. charge on Chinese goods is 30%. China's tariffs 10% now on American products. We'll hear from President Trump this hour, signing an executive order to lower prescription drug prices for Americans.
The president posted on Truth Social Sunday, I will be instituting a most favored nations policy whereby the United States will pay the same price as the nation that pays the lowest price anywhere in the world.
That's Fox's Jill Nato. After signing the order, the president will take off on a Middle East trip to Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Qatar, which is offering a gift to the Trump administration, a luxury Boeing 747 jet that the president could reportedly use as Air Force One until the end of his term and then transfer it to his presidential library. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt tells Fox.
The legal details of that are still being worked out, but of course, any donation to this government is always done in full compliance with the law, and we commit ourselves to the utmost transparency.
We're waiting for Hamas to release the last living American hostage, which it said it would do today, while pushing for a new ceasefire.
Idan Alexander, who was raised in New Jersey, was serving in the Israeli army when he was captured by Hamas during the attack of October 7th, 2023. Israel says the freeing of Idan Alexander isn't tied to any promise to stop its assault on Gaza. It will, however, create a safe corridor through which he could leave the war zone.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. And Ukraine and Russia may hold direct ceasefire talks Thursday in Turkey. America's listening to Fox News.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
2815 Old Jacksonville, Springfield. CordellCordell.com.
Don't get suckered into the same old free phone game by Big Wireless. There is a better way. Pure Talk, my sponsor, my wireless company, has a better offer. The brand new free Samsung Galaxy with qualifying plan for $35 a month. You get unlimited talk, unlimited text, 15 gigs of data, all on America's most dependable 5G network. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword Pure Talk for your free Samsung Galaxy with qualifying plan. Pure Talk, wireless by Americans for Americans.
A controversy simmers in New Jersey after a showdown at an Immigration and Customs Enforcement Detention Center.
The Department of Homeland Security says there could be more arrests coming after that confrontation Friday that included 3 Democratic members of Congress, the mayor of Newark, and federal agents.
Fox's Madeline Rivera.
The lawmakers say they were conducting an oversight visit at the ICE facility. A scuffle broke out with federal agents. DHS says the members of Congress stormed the gate of the facility while a bus of detainees was entering. An agency spokesperson accuses some of the lawmakers of body slamming at least one ICE officer. Newark's Mayor Ras Baraka was charged with trespassing for allegedly ignoring warnings to leave the property. Baraka is denying the allegations, calling his arrest targeted.
Now, President Trump is dealing with legal challenges to his immigration raids and deportations of those here illegally. Thursday at the Supreme Court, there will be another challenge considered.
The Supreme Court will hear arguments from 3 cases challenging President Trump's executive order that ends birthright citizenship. 3 judges have blocked the order, 1 in Seattle, 1 in Massachusetts, and 1 in Maryland. The judge in Seattle called the president's order blatantly unconstitutional. The president's order says the 14th Amendment's never been interpreted to extend citizenship universally to everyone born here. The amendment says all persons born or naturalized here and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens. The president's order says children born to mothers here illegally or only temporarily are not necessarily subject to U.S. jurisdiction for the purposes of being citizens. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
They plan to seat a jury this morning to put star rapper and music producer Sean Diddy Combs on trial.
Prosecutors accuse Sean Diddy Combs of running a 20-year criminal enterprise with the help of associates and employees that engaged in sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, and other offenses.
Fox's Chanley Painter outside the federal court in New York City. Opening statements are supposed to start today. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Carl Health in Champaign expected to lay off more than 600 starting in July. Located at 3310 Fields South Drive in Champaign, they're scheduled to lay off 612 employees starting July 8. It's due to the Carl subsidiaries Health Alliance and First Carolina Care ending all insurance plans other than Medicare Advantage by January 1st. Leaders in Illinois reacting after Chicago native named Pope Leo XIV, the first American pope in the 2,000-year history of the Catholic Church. Chicago's mayor called this one of the biggest moments in the city's modern history. Illinois Department of Labor resolving multiple complaints of unpaid wages made against a Beecher-based contractor. IDOL has recovered more than $483,000 for affected workers of bulk storage. The payments are part of a settlement agreement reached with the company. In addition to the wages recovered, the contractor will pay $85,000 in penalties to IDOL. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
All right, thank you, Jim Miller. Into our second hour. I'm Stevie J. There's Diane Ducey.
Yeah.
Meteorologist Greg Solier has jumped aboard, and a lot of my farmer friends are out there working it, man.
Yeah, May 12th.
Working it.
Double time.
Yeah.
Good.
So, question is, are we into wet, or are we going to start that dry thing you had mentioned?
Well, this is our wet window of diminishing opportunity around here, increasing kind of delays, if you will. First with a system out of the southeast, and then we'll ultimately get kind of this boundary set up between cold air north, warm south, disturbances tracking along it, and these kind of multiple rounds of showers, thunderstorms. That's probably getting going here in steadfast order next week and into the following week. It's probably not till really sometime in by the middle part of June before we start that warmer trend. So that's why the emphasis to get things done while you may, because increasing delays, and then it's literally going to be like a spigot. You turn it on, and we turn it off.
Oh, boy.
And that's the way it goes here into the rest of the growing season.
All right, that's meteorologist Greg Solier. Now with our forecast for the week, brought to you by Kurt Lenschow. State Farm Insurance, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. This week, not so bad. Maybe a little one here and there.
Yeah, that's right. A few sprinkles of rain north of I-70 down towards Terre Haute, tracking to the north, and northwest, a little more steadfast rain south of St. Louis right now. That system is kind of backing up from southeast to northwest across the area here over the next 24 to 36 hours. So keep an eye on things. Nothing heavy or severe, but a few sprinkles into a couple of showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm this afternoon. Should top out around 76. We're already 69 at Willard and Savoy on a light easterly wind. For tonight, shower, maybe a weak thunderstorm around early and late, down to about 61, partly sunny, and again may pop a stray shower thunderstorm, especially tomorrow afternoon. Again, dry, workable hours with no big rain amounts expected for today or tonight, with a high tomorrow close to 80. A warm, dry Wednesday, go get it at 82. So shower thunderstorms is back into play at some point here Thursday afternoon, probably, and again into Thursday night with a high close to 90. A hot and humid Thursday. We cool to 86 and drier air for Friday, and for the weekend, dry Saturday, 79. We're in the 70s Sunday, Monday. Again, a cooling trend into next week, and we're back into chasing showers and thunderstorms late Sunday, Monday of next week as well. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
Yeah, that new airplane that Qatar, I always said Qatar, is giving the president, I guess they want it to be displayed at his presidential museum someday. But the more I think about it, the more I say that's outlandish and absurd. You're never going to put the president of the United States in a mechanical flying machine that somebody else built.
Right.
I mean, you trust Boeing, right? I guess. But
made in Seattle then, right?
I mean, Boeing, wherever they're going to build that 747. Remember, Trump ordered one, and it was $5 billion, and he said a 3 needs to be in front of that number. He got it down to 3,999.
Okay.
And so he saved the country $1 billion right there. But I don't think that's even been delivered. So how does Qatar have a ready-to-use 747? I'm too skeptical. Too skeptical of the world.
A few texts in on that saying, don't know if I'd trust that.
Wouldn't trust that.
Right.
No, you can't. You just can't. I said the example of here, I made a sandwich for you, Mr. President. We make great Iranian sandwiches. Here, try this. No.
No, thank you.
You can't. And I'm sure, I just can't imagine the process that the Secret Service has for even the White House kitchen staff.
Right.
And whatever the president eats. Who's preparing it? How deep have they gone on vetting
You
that
take
person?
A bite first. And
yeah,
then,
right. Exactly. Anyway, it's, I presume, a genuine gesture, but who knows in this world today, with 2 people have tried to kill the president already. So, all right, Bill Maher does a Friday night HBO show, and he's been all over the woke left. Disagrees with it. He's pretty liberal. So here's Bill Maher on his show over the weekend.
But here is the dilemma for Democrats. Their young people, their key constituency, not only don't like their own civilization, they like the wrong one. They actually think Hamas is a liberation movement. They chant for the Houthis. They're chanting, "We will honor our martyrs" at Yale. They're looking for love in all the wrong countries. Someone needs to tell the kids that America is not the society where women basically have no rights, where there's zero freedom of religion and where dissent is punishable by death. Our democracy may be on life support, but we still have elections. They don't. And yet at Coachella this year, when an Irish rap group projected onto screens, Israel, Free Palestine.
Blank Israel, Free Palestine.
Got big applause. Globalize the intifada is the catchphrase.
Intifada? They're suicide bombers.
That's really catching on these days, as if worldwide suicide bombing and cosplaying Islamic revolutionaries is the answer to our problems. At an AOC Bernie Sanders rally in Idaho last month, someone threw a Palestinian flag over an American flag, and the crowd erupted in approval. What should have happened after that is one of the adults on stage should have told their young, loyal followers, this is not a symbol of freedom.
And that's a picture of like ISIS or something, that look.
This is.
That's the American flag. I mean, he's all over. This is a very liberal comedian, I guess he's called. He's a commentator. And you're thinking, okay, so I'm celebrating Intifada. Do they know what that is? I mean, when I was 18, I didn't know much.
Right.
But to jump up and down and F Israel and what the world are we doing? So it's a small number of people that get a loud microphone. And it's not what we are. And you don't jump up and down for terrorists.
Right.
That go into October 7 in Israel and do what they did. So massively brutal, horrific. And you don't ever celebrate that. And so we'll see. Israel's talking about taking over Gaza. Just taking it. They had it before. Gave it back, talking about taking it again to get more security. They do get a American hostage out of from Hamas today. So that family, I mean, there's other families saying, what about my guy? But at least you got one more. And how many have died from that original, 250 hostages or whatever that was. Anyway, it's a head shaker for me, certainly, the stances. And then they bull rush the ICE facility in New Jersey. These are 3 Congress people. And they're trying to bull rush into an ICE facility. I thought you're just not supposed to be above the law.
Right.
You can't hit officers with your, full back tie pushing in, I'm going in. You can't do that. I'm a United States. Well, it doesn't give you that. You're still under the law, I thought, right? We're not above the law. I am a U.S. They were screaming. They got video on it, so it's like embarrassing. And they wanted to see if they're treated well. These gang members are treated well. It's like, what are we doing?
Right.
Why are you rooting for murderers and rapists? What are you thinking? I don't know. The Democrats are wandering right now, and the left. They don't know how to take this thing back. Bernie and AOC are getting some pretty big crowds, like tens of thousands of people at some of their rallies. But again, we have 340 million. I'll give you that this incredibly left nonsensical movement might have a few million people in it. But out of 340, that's not that many. It's a very small 0.1 something. I mean, It's not very much. But it's a lot when you give them airtime all the time. I think they've always been there. But now they just got some power, and they're flaunting it. All right, 217-359-2255. Feel free to jump on anything I say. You are welcome, sir or madam. Let's check sports headlines.
And on the text line, Mike's mentioning EIU softball in the national finals after beating SIUE 4-3. Just looking up when they're up in the Austin Regional on May 16th. They'll be taking on number 6 Texas at 4:30.
Texas?
I know.
Okay. EIU will upset Texas.
Come on, Panthers.
Go.
Let's do it.
Come on.
So also, of course, we have NCAA tournament action at the Atkins Golf Club. That's the top trending story, I'd say, for the next 3 days in this 54-hole tournament. 18 holes each day for the 13 programs represented and the 10 individuals that we'll see. This is Illinois' 17th consecutive NCAA regional appearance. I believe making 16 out of the 17 under Coach Mike Small.
Yeah, par 71.
7,533 yards.
I mean, if you don't golf, that is so far.
Yes.
That means if you don't hit a 310-yard drive, your second shot's with the par 71, they made one of the par 5s a par 4. So it's probably going to be a 510-yard par 4. I mean, if you golf, it's ridiculous.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there'll be players in this tournament that won't be on in 2 shots. A lot of them. But they'll figure out how to make 4 because they'll make a great chip and make a 10-foot putt. That's just this level of golf. It's just really, if you are into golf, it won't get any easier driving to Urbana and parking and walking a little bit, finding any golfer you want, and you say, man, they hit it really well. And then watch them hit a bad shot and see what happens. They still make par.
Right.
It's stunning.
Unbelievable. And I know they were recruiting, various volunteers. I mean, this is a big deal. The parking, the hospitality, everything that goes along with this. And is this our first time?
I've never. This is a regional. I don't believe we've ever had it. We haven't had this facility.
Right.
The Atkins family donated that to the University of Illinois. I think people feel wonderful now knowing the U of I has it. It's like buying a house at Allerton.
Yeah.
It's going to be kept up. It's going to be really nice.
Absolutely.
And you don't. Yeah. Anyway, it's pretty exciting. For those that live in Stone Creek, just go to your patio and have a cookout and watch these guys come through.
I'm telling you.
And try and remember their names because some of these folks will play professionally. It'll be really cool.
Yeah. The Colorado Rockies are also trending after firing Bud Black, their GM, and having the worst baseball record at 7-33 right now. So the general manager, Bill Schmidt, has stepped up. White Sox actually won, and they're 4-12 was the final yesterday over the Marlins. That's who the Cubs will be taking on in this series, then the Chicago White Sox, then back to the Marlins. So a little bit of a hopefully easy stretch for them. New York Mets came out on top yesterday over the Cubs 6-2. 6:40 is when you'll hear the action with Colin Ray on the mound on US 105.9. St. Louis Cardinals over Washington 6-1. They've got Philadelphia with a 5:45 start here on ESPN 93.5.
Now, Washington's not very good, but they did sweep them. Philadelphia's hard, and then a day off Thursday before they take Kansas City. Kansas City's pretty good too, so we'll see. Then they have Philadelphia, real good team playing well. Kansas City, darn good team. Detroit, who's first place in the Central in the AL. Then they play Arizona as a good team. So next week and a half will be telling for the Cardinals if they're for real to hold this kind of a great momentum at 8 in a row. That's a lot of wins in a row.
Mm-hmm. So we had UCLA sweeping our Illini baseball team. We're 27-22 on the season, 12-15 in the Big Ten.
Yeah, UCLA is a problem.
Yeah.
They're a really good baseball team.
Next up in Columbus against Ohio State Thursday at 5. We had Parkland's baseball and softball teams wrapping up their season this past weekend.
Okay. We want to check your weather. And of course, farmers are busy trying to get their things done. Greg said could get kind of dry in the summer, but that's a month or so away.
Mm-hmm.
Let's check your weather. Meteorologist Greg Soye coming up on 8:19 on this Monday, May 12, ESP on 93.5.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for you, Central Illinois, Champaign and Manhattan vicinity. A little more late spring, early summer feel as the week wears on, but diminishing, shrinking, and certainly closing windows of opportunity here from a multi-day basis expected to begin here this week and carry on certainly into next week as we cool it down and ramp it back up into a weather mode. Enjoy it while you may here as the next couple of weeks progress. In the meantime, considerable cloudiness, highs to about 76, a couple of spotty showers before the morning is done, and maybe even an isolated thunderstorm back in this afternoon, along with the shower activity and a light east wind. 76 today, 61 for tonight, lingering shower thunderstorm chance early and again late. Tomorrow, partly sunny, smaller rain chances both morning and late afternoon. The high, though, nearing 80. We'll bottom out near 60 tomorrow night, maybe a fog patch here Wednesday morning, partly sunny, warm at 82. We'll flirt with 90 on Thursday, small chance for shower thunderstorm early and late. That moves out early Friday at 86. We cool off for the weekend. Showers are back in Sunday to Monday. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
I'm Susan Lee, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Wall Street starting the morning with a rally, with investors relieved after this weekend's U.S.-China trade talks. But a lot of pharmaceutical shares worldwide, though, are taking a beating after President Trump promised to cut U.S. prescription drug costs potentially by as much as 80%. Americans pay the most in the world for medicines, funneling billions a year into an industry that says it depends on the U.S. money to drive growth and development of breakthrough therapies. And an analyst says the most important consumer earnings report of the season lands this week when e-commerce giant Walmart reports first quarter results Thursday. D.A. Davidson analyst Michael Baker telling MarketWatch what they say is going to matter not just only for Walmart, but for how investors view the overall consumer economy. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Lillian Wu, invested in you.
The world of business moves fast. Stay on top of it with the Fox Business Rundown every Monday and Friday. Fox Business reporters, anchors, and hosts will bring you beneath the stock market speculation and boardroom drama to tell you about the biggest business stories of today. Whether you're on Main Street or Wall Street, Fox Business is invested in you.
Listen to the Fox Business Rundown every Monday and Friday at foxbusinesspodcasts.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
We're talking to John Reichert from A&R Mechanical. 100 years in our community. So many buildings in this town, like Memorial Stadium. Of course, the State Farm Center. Can you remember the reaction from the company getting that? Because that's a big one.
Oh, that was huge. If you just think about it a little bit, everything we put in is straight, pipe is straight. We were putting all that into a round building. And, it took a lot of know-how to make that project happen. It was one of the first projects we did using our new technologies. And the timing was just right. We were the right people for that project, and I think we did it successfully.
The legacy of A&R. John, I could almost say, what haven't you built? Up and down campus, the Siebel Center was fairly new for computer science.
Everybody was working as a team, and I think it came out very well.
A&R Mechanical has helped build Carl at the Fields expansion and other Carl projects in Provena and Sarah Bush Lincoln. The list goes on and on. Visit them at ar-mech.com.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
Hark, there be a barge of overseas appliances, overpriced, tariff-laden goods. Unload quick! We don't have any other choice but to pay the high prices.
Sure we do.
Well, if my eyes don't deceive me, it be Paul Rican from Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. What speak ye about saving money?
At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, you don't need to worry about overpriced tariff goods. We are stocked with pre-tariff inventory.
You don't need me overpriced appliances from overseas?
Nope, we're good. We even have Speed Queen in stock made right here in the good old Midwest.
You want none of it?
We have 2 warehouses full of pre-tariff inventory and a service department to repair your existing appliance if you want to save even more money instead of buying new.
Well, I'll be. Can I interest ye in me lobster bisque?
Well, it is 9 a.m.
You got to try me lobster bisque.
Okay, all right, I'll get some to go. Take credit card?
With a 5% service charge and sign here for a minimum 30% tip.
Wow.
When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Again, we carry the Chicago Bears on Q96.1 this fall, and the Bears are going to be a playoff contender. I mean, they have to stay healthy and all the same old. But new coach Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator from the powerful Detroit Lions, and Dennis Allen, the former head coach of the Saints, is his defensive coordinator. And they drafted well. They got a potential star quarterback in Caleb Williams. And while you're out bringing in the home harvest in the fall, you'll be able to listen to a station you can hear because you couldn't get the Bears out of Chicago.
Right.
But now you can listen to them on Q96.1 this fall. Keep
I
that
love it.
in mind.
That's right.
My son-in-law, Jacob Hurtubise, was with the Reds briefly last week. He's back to AAA. They'll play in Indianapolis this week, so we follow him.
I hadn't seen it, so I just caught the Tyler Callahan.
Yeah, Tyler Callahan.
And it's not pretty.
No, it's hard to watch.
I just came off of it, Stevie, and I'm
just brutal.
Looking away.
Ran into the wall full speed and broke his forearm, and he's out. But that's how Jacob got called up for 3 days, and then somebody else came off the IR, and then somebody else. It's just amazing fluidity. If you're right between the big leagues and AAA, you just go back and forth a lot. Fortunately, Louisville and Cincinnati are a couple hours away. Last week he had to scramble. I didn't realize I was kind of breaking news because they hadn't announced any of that.
I see.
And I was telling everybody about how Jacob's going to Houston. Oopsie. Wait a minute, that hadn't been announced yet. I don't think anybody in Cincinnati cares.
Right.
And I told that story. But anyway, it's what it is. But think about your life and your job and everything else and what it would be like to wait until 10 at night to see if you're going to work tomorrow.
Wow.
And where.
Getting flown out.
But
and then all the accommodations. And I suppose the Reds then have somebody to pick you up and you have...
They take care of everything.
Your hotel and all that set.
It's a lot different in AAA than it is the big leagues from the standpoint of things, facilities. I mean, in Houston, they're 4 seasons in Houston. They stay at the best places.
Right.
And in every major pit stop along the way, moving your way up to the big leagues, you're rooming with people. Sometimes you're rooming with a couple.
Right.
You know, they're married, so they're over in that room and you're over in that room.
Okay.
You're sharing that small little kitchen, and you get about $500 a week.
Right.
A week. You make more Chick-fil-A.
You're going from hot dog to surf and turf from one day to the other.
Just how it works. But no, it's been a really wonderful last year and a half of him playing very well. And just in baseball, you track anybody, you go through the same things. I mean, he hit a ball yesterday that really smoked it. And the guy dove, stopped it, beat him by half a step at first. I mean, that kind of stuff.
And that was the series that was at Memphis
No, they were in Louisville last week.
Okay.
And they split with Omaha. Now they'll play Indianapolis where Jacob grew up. So Grace and Jacob get to stay at Jacob's parents' house.
Yeah, I
for
mean,
the whole week.
The 13th through the 18th is going to be in Indianapolis.
Yep. So that's.
I'm looking at a couple games. I'd like to see him in action.
Go see Jacob. He generally leads off for the AAA team, and he gets on base. There was a streak of 5 games. He was on base 14 times.
Wow.
So he figures out how to get on via hit, get hit by pitch, walk. You got to pitch strikes. He generally doesn't swing at bad balls, and if you don't pitch strikes, he'll take it. He'll just let you walk him if you want. So, all right, again, big deal at Stone Creek, the Atkins Club at Stone Creek, Atkins Golf Club.
Yes.
And it's just a real rare opportunity to see some of America's best golfers. And we're rooting for Max and Ryan and Jackson and Jake and Ethan and the alternate Trey.
Yes.
Fighting Illini golf team. And if you want to find them, you can, and then follow the orange and blue to see if they can play well in the region to get out. I mean, we're expected to do that. There's a number of teams that make it to the next level.
And some of the teams, like ISU, is in it. So that's great.
That's amazing.
Let's see, 13 different teams and 10 individuals for this 54-hole tournament.
Well, looking to build, buy, or refinance, you can partner with Busey. Their in-house mortgage expertise and participation in a wide range of programs mean your home loan is tailored to your needs. With dozens of special mortgage programs, Busey can help you find the one that fits your needs. You do traditional financing, like fixed and adjustable rate mortgages, construction and lot loans, investment properties. Busey offers a suite of products to benefit low and moderate income families as well. Experienced lending professionals who take the time to get to know you and your needs. If you want to apply online at your own pace, it takes 20 minutes or less at BuseyMortgage.com with free pre-qualifications. Shop for your home knowing all your options. Busey's the name you can trust, whether you're a first-time home buyer or looking to refinance. Their mortgage bankers will guide you every step of the way. Ready to take the next step? Partner with Busey for the resources to turn your dream of home ownership into reality. All you do is call them 800-67-BUSEY and ask which more special mortgage program, loan program is right for you. Go to BuseyMortgage.com, BuseyMortgage.com, and look forward to that home you can finally get into. We'll be right back.
At ABC Heating and Air, it's our promise to help you always be comfortable. Do you need rescued because you're burning hot? Do you need rescued because your air is shot? Call ABC Heating and Air at 352-5400 and let us rescue you from the heat. ABC Heating and Air, 352-5400. Can't you see you need to call me at ABC? Call ABC Heating and Air. That's ABC Heating and Air, 352-5400.
You've heard about the doggy bag, right? From Bulldog Disposal.
Morning with a rally.
6 cubic yard canvas bag that can be used for easy cleanup instead of a big dumpster. The one-time use bag is now available, and you can save the delivery charge. Get the doggy bag at Do It Best Hardware in Champaign at 107 West Springfield. So fill up the bag, call Bulldog Disposal, have it disposed of, and you'll be organized. Go to bulldoggybag.com for all the details. That's bulldoggybag.com.
Fox News, I'm Therese Crowley. Big news as President Trump launches his first international trip to Saudi Arabia. First, signing an executive order to lower the cost of prescription drugs at least half to 80%, invoking most favored nation pricing.
The United States of America is less than 5% of the world's population, yet we purchase 75% of Big Pharma's profits. We pay an astronomical amount in comparison to other countries around the world.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. Markets surging on trade talks in Geneva. The U.S. and China drop 115% tariffs for 90 days. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent.
Neither side wants a decoupling.
And Hamas agrees with U.S. negotiators to release the last American living hostage, 21-year-old Adon Alexander from New Jersey. America is listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Leaders in Illinois reacting after Chicago native named Pope Leo XIV, the first American pope in the 2,000-year history of the Catholic Church. Chicago's mayor called this one of the biggest moments in the city's modern history. Illinois Department of Labor resolving multiple complaints of unpaid wages made against a Beecher-based contractor. IDOL has recovered more than $483,000 for affected workers of bulk storage. The payments are part of a settlement agreement reached with the company. In addition to the wages recovered, the contractor will pay $85,000 in penalties to IDOL. Carl Health in Champaign expected to lay off more than 600 starting in July. Located at 3310 Fields South Drive in Champaign, they're scheduled to lay off 612 employees starting July 8. It's due to the Carl subsidiaries Health Alliance and First Carolina Care ending all insurance plans other than Medicare Advantage by January 1st. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Well, again, everyone, let's check weather for you, Central Illinois, Champaign and Manhattan vicinity. A little more late spring, early summer feel as the week wears on, but diminishing, shrinking, and certainly closing windows of opportunity here from a multi-day basis expected to begin here this week and carry on certainly into next week as we cool it down and ramp it back up into a weather mode. Enjoy it while you may here as the next couple of weeks progress. In the meantime, considerable cloudiness, highs to about 76, a couple of spotty showers before the morning is done, and maybe even an isolated thunderstorm back in this afternoon, along with the shower activity and a light east wind. 76 today, 61 for tonight. Lingering shower thunderstorm chance early and again late tomorrow. Partly sunny, smaller rain chances both morning and late afternoon. The high, though, nearing 80. We'll bottom out near 60 tomorrow night. Maybe a fog patch here Wednesday morning. Partly sunny, warm at 82. We'll flirt with 90 on Thursday. Small chance for shower thunderstorm early and late. That moves out early Friday at 86. We cool off for the weekend. Showers are back in Sunday to Monday. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
When the storm rolls in, where will you go? Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your family with a custom storm shelter from Berg Septic and Storm Shelter Services. At Berg Tanks, their shelters are fiberglass and plate steel safe rooms that can be installed in your garage or exterior, in ground, or on a concrete pad. Built to withstand the toughest storms, giving you a safe, secure place when you need it most. Whether you need a compact unit for a small space or a larger shelter for the whole family, they've got you covered. Their expert team handles everything from excavation to installation so you can have peace of mind before the next storm strikes. Berg Septic also specializes in septic pumping, new system installation, grease trap cleanings, repairs, and maintenance plans to keep your home running smoothly. Call Berg Septic and Storm Shelter Services today at 217-367-8632 or visit them online at bergtanksinc.com. That's bergtanksinc.com.
When looking for a bank, you deserve the best. Philo Exchange Bank is a Best of Bauer bank rated 5 stars in financial strength and stability for over 28 consecutive years. Banking with us means you're banking with one of the strongest banks in the nation. Visit any one of our locations in Philo, St. Joseph, Allerton, or Broadlands to experience the best firsthand.
Philo Exchange Bank, hometown community banking since 1883. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
All right, last segment of our program today. Don't forget the drive this afternoon with the boys after 3 o'clock. Cardinals are on a little early in Philadelphia, about 10 till 5. Mm-hmm. Cardinals have won 8 baseball games in a row.
Wow.
Very favorable schedule, but in any regards, it's pretty good to win 8 against anybody. Mm-hmm. And that's a good streak. So 8 in a row. They're 1 game back of the Chicago Cubs, who have a very home schedule coming up favorable, with teams they should beat, and we'll see what happens with the Cubs. You hear all the Cubs on US 105.9, and the Cardinals live right here on ESPN 93.5. Well, you remember James Carville, the great Bill Clinton advisor.
Yes.
He now has pretty much, I found some old tape of Ilhan Omar from Minneapolis, very, very left, criticizing how white men are the problem.
Okay.
James Carville kind of reacted to that.
Lady, why don't you just get out the Democratic Party? Honestly, start your own movement. All right, let's do the simple math. Probably 69%, I don't know, we could call Jim Gerstein or Jeff Garrett. Roughly 69% of the people going to vote in November, maybe more. Let's do 70 for just round math, are going to be white. Of that, 48%, maybe a little more, are going to be male. So that's roughly, let's just call it 33.33% of the entire election. Well, let's just run against them because that's so damn smart. All right. So now we're going to have a campaign by the progressive left against white men who vote about a third of everybody that votes in an election. Why don't you, lady, start your own party? And then when it's over, if you want to caucus with the Democrats, fine. We agree with a lot of things that you do. But we don't believe we ought to be running against white men. In fact, we don't think we ought to be running against any gender, any ethnic group, any race, any religion, or anything else. These people are just helpless. They cannot be helped. There's nothing you can do to help them. They don't want to be helped. And if they had any guts, they'd start their own damn political party and get out of ours. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
He's 80 now.
Yeah, he's a piece of work. Married to a Republican, believe it or not, Mary Madeline.
Mary Madeline.
Both in New Orleans.
Back in 93.
Johnny's been to their house.
Mm-hmm.
James hasn't been there when Johnny's been there, only Mary. So.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's probably not going to happen because they'll freak out about losing every election because you split the party kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I tell you, I think the Democrats are lost and being kowtowed into this far left. When you have Bill Maher criticizing you, it's too far. He's a liberal. I mean, he's a capital L liberal, but not that crazy. So anyway,
Ilhan Omar is in Minnesota, and she's 42. Is this the wave of how new leadership will be?
Okay, see if they win. November 5th kind of showed they lost every battleground state.
Okay.
People in America are not that far left. They're more toward the center, leaning right. A whole lot of common sense, a lot of that's what the majority of the voters are. They don't want this stuff. They don't want boys playing on girls' teams. They don't want boys exposing themselves because they identify as a woman. It's just not fair. We spent 50 years creating Title IX to give women opportunities in sport. And now we're just saying, this guy thinks he's a woman, let him play. Let him play! Physically, it's going to be a shock. Men and women aren't built the same.
Right.
LeBron James in the WNBA, I'll take that team. Come on. It's crazy.
Trying to unwind yesterday. Mother's Day was just awesome and all that, but I'm catching this politicizing of Pope Leo the 14th and the whole, how will he's voted before, and how will the election, how are Catholics voting, and just so much. I just wish we'd just take a breath and try to enjoy the unification instead of divisiveness.
Right now it should be
how will he vote?
A honeymoon, right?
Right.
But to think he won't be like Pope Francis, who was progressive, right?
I mean, did we really? He was really helping the poor,
but he okay with divorce and reunifying Catholics, which was not what they did, right? I mean, that's a new thing, and you can agree or disagree, but that's a change. And some of the conservative-leaning Catholics
or
don't like it.
Are we lifting words out of phrases to make?
I think he said that homosexuality is a sin, but it's not against the law or something like that. So there's some things that he was advocating or at least okaying.
Right.
Like I didn't think the Catholics could ever divorce and then and again, that may be something that somebody might be in a horribly abusive situation and they ought to be able to get married again, right? I mean, that's so I think some of that and frankly, Brother Johnny thinks priests ought to be able to have families.
Right.
I think that would be a very good thing. Listen, everything that's bad in the Catholic Church is not Jesus. It's the weakness of man.
That's right.
It's nothing to do with the Holy Spirit and God and Jesus Christ. No, it's just the weakness of men.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we've got going on. And the liberal nature of some denominations, it's certainly not near what some people are agreeing to and believe in, quote, the Christian religion. They're just off the Bible page. And the only thing you ought to go on is the Bible.
Absolutely.
That's what you can't change the words of the Bible. And so you take that and you try and implement, and certainly with the new covenant of Jesus, that's what the Catholics should focus on.
Mm-hmm.
But you get into these human things, and I agree, I disagree, that kind of stuff. I mean, if you're pro-abortion, I don't think you're supposed to take communion, are you, in the Catholic Church? I mean, you had Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden, all these other Democrats.
Right.
So anyway, listen, is it an easy job? No, it is not. Can he unify everybody? I think if he throws out a first pitch at White Sox Park, it'll start. No, listen, there'll be people that won't understand what he is. They'll say, well, what are they into? I mean, maybe they'll look. Maybe they'll find a peace that transcends all understanding. Maybe. But you have now an opportunity with a American Pope that understands what 40 love is. It's nice.
Mm-hmm.
He likes playing tennis.
Mm-hmm.
And then the conflict would be, well, you kind of let him win if you're better. I mean, you can't. I wouldn't feel good about beating the Pope at anything.
I don't know, Stevie, what you got in it. That competitive edge that you have,
if
you'd probably...
If he said it's okay, I'll try hard, okay? But it's just a different feel with a new Pope that is kind of Americanized to some extent. Even though he spent most of his life in Peru, his adult life, he was seen at the White Sox World Series game 2005, where he was randomly selected as a single shot.
And they held it for
at least 3 seconds.
A few seconds.
And then his brother, who's making the media rounds,
John,
so he said, hey, do you know he was on a World Series telecast?
Right.
And then they've been showing it online, social media. It says, future Pope.
Exactly.
And how did they find that? Well, the family knew he was on screen.
Right.
It had to be that.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty remarkable where we are in a whole lot of areas. 217-359-2255. We'll check the sports headlines. That will be coming up next.
At ABC Heating and Air, it's our promise to help you always be comfortable. Do you need rescued because you're burning hot? Do you need rescued because your air is shot? Call ABC Heating and Air at 352-5400 and let us rescue you from the heat. ABC Heating and Air, 352-5400. Can't you see you need to call me at ABC? Call ABC Heating and Air. That's ABC Heating and Air, 352-5400.
Preventative care is a key factor in maintaining your overall health. Don't delay your health care. If you haven't already scheduled your annual wellness checkup and any recommended screenings and immunizations, do it today. Christie Clinic primary care physicians have same-day appointments available. Talk to a Christie Clinic physician about important screenings and immunizations. You don't want to delay. Make an appointment today at ChristieClinic.com and click on online scheduling. Take care of yourself and put your health first.
Maybe a mass at Sox Park, and then you stick around for the ball game.
We need more people. We need a bigger facility at Soldier Field for the mass.
I mean, I'm wondering,
and maybe even the day before, and maybe even have
would they
some kind of jubilee. It's Jubilee year and all that.
If you said 11 a.m. mass at Sox Park, would it fill?
Yes.
It hadn't filled since 2005.
It would fill.
All right, so you have a mass at the Pope, Sox Park. Then you stick around, grab some lunch, use the restroom, come back and have them throw out the first pitch. Boom, I've got this. The Vatican needs to hire me.
There we go.
I think it would just be such a I'm on your eye level feel that nobody has ever felt from a Pope. Anyway, I don't think it's wrong at all. You're participating in a sport. And you're coming down to the people level. Really would be, too.
Well, here's an online search that says Pope Leo XIV calls for news media to shun divisive language. I like that.
Well,
let's come together. Let's get unified. I'm excited to see where this goes, and I'm certainly praying for peace all around the world.
No question about it. By the way, Vladimir Putin has suggested he and Volodymyr Zelensky meet.
Oh.
And Donald Trump says, take the meeting.
Yes.
Because they were going to go ceasefire. Now Putin wants to meet with Zelensky. I would strongly suggest that Donald Trump would be in the room. Because I think if you're killing each other, it'd be very difficult. You really would have good reason to be very, very angry, right?
Right.
But I would think you have a meeting in Malta, and you have Zelensky, Putin, and Trump.
Mm-hmm.
That's.
I mean, maybe Pope Leo XIV should be part of that, blessing the whole thing.
Yeah,
and people come together.
I'm in.
Here's a news from the Vatican headline that says Pope Leo suggests people may return to the church because of the American Pope.
But I think that would help if he threw out a pitch. He did human. I'm just saying, if you get down, we haven't had not in my lifetime. I don't remember. I liked Pope John Paul a lot. I think he was a good man and did a lot of great things in his long tenure during the Reagan years and on. He was there for 20 years, I think.
Right.
Anyway, I mean, that was a guy I said, that seems like
this says the new pontiff had a news conference for some 6,000 journalists from around the world.
Okay, we could sell out Sox Park.
I know.
Maybe every week, every day of the
just
series.
Like Trump hit the ground running. Look how much he met with the media right out of the gate, and we were so not used to that.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there's a mass 2 hours before
there you go.
with the Pope who'll throw out the first pitch, and they'll be playing the Anaheim Angels. Come on.
White Sox beat the Marlins yesterday, 4-2.
Angels, Pope.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
I'm an ideas man. Chuck.
New York Mets over the Cubs 6-2. They've got Miami now. 6:40 start over on US 105.9. Colin Rio will be on the mound. And we have the St. Louis Cardinals that beat Washington. In fact, haven't hit your Redbird recap in a while. Let's get the update.
The Redbird Recap is sponsored by Helitech Waterproofing and Foundation Repair. Heal your home with Helitech.
With Ricky Horton, I'm John Rooney. The Cardinals are in Philadelphia today, and a great matchup tonight with Matthew Liberatore against Christopher Sanchez. But the Cardinals finished off a 3-game sweep at Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. They won on Mother's Day 6-1, and they've won 8 in a row.
Pitching was great again in D.C. Miles Michaelis picked up the win yesterday. Had really good work out of the bullpen behind him, especially by Steven Matz. But the Cardinals also used the long ball to win the game yesterday as they hit 3 big flies, Arenado, Contreras, and Newpark.
And the Cardinals were able to get to 9 hits in the game. And with the games tight, I think the early losses in the season have helped this team overcome some of those problems where they're putting some games away.
We have been watching day after day the Cardinals learning how to win close games.
On the air at 4:50 from Philadelphia, 5:35, Ricky will have the lineups.
I love it. Now that, I'm all chummy with John Rooney.
I know. No, you're pals with the Cardinals.
Last week,
I'm thinking
Cardinal Affiliate Day at Busch was
how are you a Cub fan with so many Deuces Cardinal fans?
It's split. It's always been split. Mom and Dad were split, Cubs and Cardinals.
Yeah, but who's the Cub fans in your family if Gary and Michael are Cardinals?
Well, Gary used to be Cubs.
Well, see, why are you blaming me?
I'm not blaming you.
Everybody
That's
got
your
on
brother
me.
Johnny. I never.
I
and people ask me these days, and I just say, whoever's giving me free tickets,
Okay.
I'm going to root for
Boom.
that
At
team.
least you're honest. Yeah.
I could be a White Sox fan if you
Okay.
give me free
There you
tickets,
go.
and it all works out for my schedule.
Need a good hotel. Yeah.
And we got the NCAA Regional Tournament at the Atkins Golf Club. So enjoy the 13 programs and 10 individuals that are competing probably right now. They've started to tee off.
Yeah, they're on the course.
Mhm.
Okay. Elon Musk talking about the Clintons and politics and him, Elon, being called a Nazi.
Total lies. The Clinton campaign funded a fake Russia collusion hoax regarding Trump that was completely false.
And they reiterated
Proven to
it
be
on
false.
television for 3 years.
Yes. And they also repeated the fine people hoax.
Yeah.
That said that Trump called neo-Nazis fine people.
Right.
Which is demonstrably false. If you just listen to his speech, he absolutely makes it clear that he does not think neo-Nazis are fine people. And I just completely lost respect for Obama when he repeated that lie a few days before the election, knowing it's false.
Who said that there were very fine people on both sides of a white supremacist rally.
Yeah, now they're using the Nazi thing on me, obviously. But it is a little troubling because, obviously, if people are fed nonstop propaganda, it is like mass hypnosis.
Right.
You're going to reach some number of people who are homicidal and convince them that, well, if you kill this guy who's supposed to be like this a terrible human, then that's a good thing.
Yeah, we talked about that before, where you start saying words.
Gotta watch your language.
Well, because they're half cocked.
Mhm.
I mean, they're nuts.
Mhm.
And so they hear you say how, Trump should be this and that.
And that soundbite might be the only thing they're consuming. They don't hear the whole context of it all.
Well, and
I mean, for that matter, Governor J.B. Pritzker was a little
he's totally
inside the last week or two when he spoke in New Jersey.
Yeah,
His
inflammatory,
language.
where you be on the streets and all these other things. So, no, and the guy that tried to kill Trump at Mar-a-Lago, he's the guy that said, well, somebody else has to finish it. And he said that on microphone.
I know.
Unbelievable. All right, we'll check your weather with Greg coming up next.
Hey, all you backyard chefs and grill gurus. Barbecue season is here, and I know that you're anxious to fire up that smoker or grill, but your yard needs mowed. Yes, your wife is getting hangry, but that grass isn't going to cut itself. What's an aspiring pitmaster going to do? Get the world's fastest mower, of course, a Dixie chopper from Dedicated Diesel in Urbana. They carry a full line of Dixie choppers from the Z2 and Magnum residential models up to the big Excalibur and classic commercial machines that can mow nearly 8 acres an hour. This is award-winning competition pitmaster Tim Onstott, and whether I'm cooking low and slow or hot and fast, I always have time to savor the flavor because my mowing time is cut down by Dixie Chopper, the world's fastest mower. Get your Dixie Chopper at Champaign-Urbana's only dealer, Dedicated Diesel, at 1313 Triumph Drive in Urbana, 217-328-0562.
Spring is here, and as the weather heats up, the sport
Sports action heats up at Circus Sports Illinois. From baseball to basketball to hockey, Circus Sports has it all. Circus Sports Illinois isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High betting limits, tight money splits, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for playoff futures or props on your favorite players and more, Circus Sports has you covered. Download the Circus Sports Illinois app or visit circusports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois, Champaign and Manhattan vicinity. A little more late spring, early summer feel as the week wears on, but diminishing, shrinking, and certainly closing windows of opportunity here from a multi-day basis expected to begin here this week and carry on certainly into next week as we cool it down and ramp it back up into a weather mode. Enjoy it while you may here as the next couple of weeks progress. In the meantime, considerable cloudiness, highs to about 76, a couple of spotty showers before the morning is done, and maybe even an isolated thunderstorm back in this afternoon, along with the shower activity and a light east wind. 76 today, 61 for tonight. Lingering shower thunderstorm chance early and again late. Tomorrow, partly sunny. Smaller rain chances both morning and late afternoon. The high, though, nearing 80. We'll bottom out near 60 tomorrow night. Maybe a fog patch here Wednesday morning. Partly sunny, warm at 82. We'll flirt with 90 on Thursday. Small chance for shower thunderstorm early and late. That moves out early Friday at 86. We cool off for the weekend. Showers are back in Sunday to Monday. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
Yeah, J.B. Pritzker in New Hampshire, speculating his inevitable run for president, said what?
Calling for mass protests. This was at the end of April, saying in a fiery speech that sparked presidential speculation, it's time to fight everywhere and all at once. Never before in my life have I called for mass protests or for mobilization or disruption, but I am now. The Republicans cannot know a moment of peace. They must understand that we will fight their cruelty with every microphone, megaphone that we have.
What did the Pope just say? They stop this language?
I know.
Yeah, that'd have to be one of the asterisks. If he throws out the first pitch in a matinee at White Sox Park, you can't have all the politicians there standing. Nobody can be by the Pope like that. Let's go. Okay, we're done. We'll be back tomorrow, God willing, 7 to 9 in the morning.
Hear the show
this afternoon.
Anytime at StevieJay.com. Follow him on Twitter, StevieJayFM.
All right, and don't forget the boys this afternoon after 3 with The Drive on this May 12th. Thank you, Diane Ducey.
Enjoy the day.
I'm Stevie J. Have a great Monday.
Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group's Diana Foltz, recent recipient of Champaign County's Realtor of the Year.
Diana, how do you know you've been successful?
I know that when we are invited to personal events in their lives, first birthday parties, weddings, gatherings, we know that we've been more than just their realtor. We know that we've made these relationships deep and that it goes beyond just the sale of the house. And it speaks a lot to what we want, which is to serve our clients and to, be more friends than just a realtor.
Why do you like what you do?
I really enjoy helping either a buyer or seller to get to the next chapter. And they're relying on Reggie and I to help them achieve their next goal.
You're their realtor.
We're their realtor. It's Taylor Folt's team, Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group. You can find me on the internet at dianafoltz.com. Cell phone number is 217-840-4133. And my email is diana@dianafoltz.com.
Drive in, drive out. Recycling's what Max is all about. You can make some cash and do your share. We make it really simple because we care. It doesn't matter large or small. Our friendly staff will handle it all. Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
What is most important to you in your life? This is Eric Boland with Provident Financial Group. Whether you're launching a career, raising a family, planning for retirement, or creating a legacy, we can help. At Provident, we provide strategic thinking and perspective that help clients like you realize their goals. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Hey, where are you headed?
To Kelsey Furniture in Tuscola.
What do they have there?
What don't they have there? Living room furniture, benches, chests, love seats, sectionals, tables, bedroom sets, hutches, nightstands, end tables, cabinets, mirrors, stools, clocks, lamps, pillows, rugs, desks, media consoles, patio furniture, Tempur-Pedic mattresses, and more.
So, everything.
Yeah, probably could have just said that.
Kelsey Furniture, quality for less.
The best time to save is now at Carpet Weavers during National Karastan Month. Save with rebates up to $1,000 on Karastan carpets and floors. Beautiful carpets, gorgeous luxury vinyl flooring. You simply can't miss out on this sale. Plus, take advantage of instant rebates on all furniture too. Save $250 on every $1,000 you spend. All with free financing for 2 years. Don't miss National Karastan Month, going on now at Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery.
You've changed thousands of diapers, played hours of peekaboo and duck duck goose because you do anything for your kids. That's why it's so important to protect them with life insurance from State Farm. State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow will help make it easy and affordable to help you protect your family no matter what the future holds. Because for the people you do anything for, life insurance could mean everything. Call State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow in Champaign-Urbana today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, I'm Sam Banks from the Champaign Rotary Club. This May 30th, join the Champaign Rotary Club for our tri-annual Action Auction at the iHotel and Conference Center. Our goal is to raise $300,000 to support reading and literacy skills for children across our community. We're partnering with Books from Breck to provide books to several organizations in Champaign-Urbana, with special guests Hope and Josh Whitman as our Service Above Self Action Auction honorees. For more information, visit champaignrotary.info.
When the storm rolls in, where will you go? Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your family with a custom storm shelter from Berg Septic and Storm Shelter Services. At Berg Tanks, their shelters are fiberglass and plate steel safe rooms that can be installed in your garage or exterior, in ground, or on a concrete pad, built to withstand the toughest storms, giving you a safe, secure place when you need it most. Whether you need a compact unit for a small space or a larger shelter for the whole family, they've got you covered. Their expert team handles everything from excavation to installation so you can have peace of mind before the next storm strikes. Berg Septic also specializes in septic pumping, new system installation, grease trap cleanings, repairs, and maintenance plans to keep your home running smoothly. Call Berg Septic and Storm Shelter Services today at 217-367-8632 or visit them online at bergtanks.com.